Picture this. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. You've just finished your coffee, and you step outside to check on your tomato plants. But instead of vibrant green leaves, your heart sinks. The stems look wilted. Leaves are turning sickly yellow color. And when you gently touch the plant's base, it feels soft and mushy. There's even a faint sour smell from the soil. Your first instinct? You rush to the garage, grab that fungicide spray, and start pumping the trigger. But here's what nobody talks about: that repetitive squeezing motion. It's torture on arthritic knuckles. The burning pain shoots through your thumb joint, an ache deep in your wrist, and then the backbreaking work of pulling out those soggy, rotting plants. It's exhausting, painful. It makes you wonder if gardening is even worth it. But what if I told you that every time you spray chemical fungicide, you're actually making the problem worse? What if there's a way to protect plants from root rot without ever touching a spray bottle again? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'm introducing you to a tiny guardian that you set up just once. It patrols your soil every day, hunting down root rot pathogens while you sit back and relax. It's completely safe for those curious dogs sniffing around your garden beds. It costs a fraction of what you're spending on chemicals every month. And best of all, it saves your hands from that painful pumping motion. Let's talk about how to actually solve root rot the smart way. Now, before we dive in, everything I'm sharing today is safe for pets and grandkids playing in the garden. That peace of mind matters, especially when creating a space where everyone can enjoy being outside together. Let's start by talking about what's actually happening when we reach for that fungicide bottle. I know it feels responsible. The label says it kills fungus, and root rot is caused by fungus. So it makes perfect sense, right? But here's the reality. When you drench your soil with fungicide, you're essentially dropping a bomb on your soil ecosystem. It kills bad fungus, causing root rot. It also wipes out every beneficial microorganism in soil. Think of it like this. Imagine your neighborhood had a few troublemakers causing problems. Instead of calling the police, someone decides to evacuate the entire neighborhood, good people and bad people alike. Now you've got empty houses, empty streets, and guess who loves moving into abandoned neighborhoods? The worst kinds of criminals. That's exactly what happens in your soil. When root rot pathogens come back, and they always come back, there's nobody left to fight them off. Your soil has become a ghost town, and the bad guys have free reign. I've seen this happen. Folks ask, my plants keep dying from root rot. What am I doing wrong? You're not wrong. You're stuck in a cycle designed to keep you buying more products, not to actually solve the problem. And meanwhile, your hands are paying the price with every squeeze of that trigger. So let's talk about what actually works. Nature gets really clever. Deep in healthy soil, incredible organisms act like a private security force for roots. Imagine them as having ultra-thin threads, invisible to the eye, spreading throughout the soil, like a sophisticated alarm system. These threads constantly sense their environment, and when they detect a root rot pathogen like Fusarium or Pythium trying to attack your plant roots, they don't just sit there. They spring into action. These beneficial organisms actually grow toward the enemy, wrap around it like a python, squeezing its prey, then release special enzymes, breaking down the pathogen's coating. It's like watching a highly trained security team neutralizing a threat before it reaches your door. And the beautiful part? Establish these guardians once. They keep working day after day, season after season, without you having to do a single thing. Now, I'm curious. When you think about root rot in your garden, which plants have given you the most trouble? Is it tomatoes, squash, or zucchini? Let me know. Understanding which plants struggle most helps us all learn. All right, let's get practical. How to bring these soil guardians into your garden. I promise you, this is so simple, you'll wonder why nobody told you sooner. You're going to culture beneficial organisms using something you probably have. Rice bran. Here's what you do. Take a small container, maybe an old yogurt tub. Add about a cup of rice bran. Sprinkle in just enough water to make it damp, like a wrung-out sponge, not soaking wet. Cover it loosely so air can get in, and tuck it away in a shady spot in your garage or under your porch. Within 5 to 7 days, you'll see white or pale greenish fuzzy growth on the surface. That's your army waking up and multiplying. When you're ready to use it, this is the part that'll make you smile. You only need about 2 tablespoons per plant, roughly the size of one small ice cube. Sprinkle it in a circle around the base of your plant, 3 to 4 inches from the stem, and water it in gently. That's it. You've just deployed your security team. Now timing matters, so let me give you the specifics. The best time to do this is in spring or early fall. This works beautifully across most US, specifically USDA zones 3 through 10. You want your soil temperature to be between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a soil thermometer, here's an easy test. If the soil feels comfortably warm when you stick your finger 2 inches down, like bath water just starting to cool, you're in the right range. That's when these beneficial organisms are most active and hungry, ready to colonize your soil and start protecting your plants. But I need to pause and have a heart-to-heart with you. I would never want to oversell this or set you up for disappointment. These beneficial organisms are absolutely incredible at what they do. They add a powerful layer of protection and strengthen your soil's natural defenses against root rot. But they're living creatures, needing the right conditions to survive. If your soil is compacted hard or water sits in puddles for hours, if drainage is poor, even these amazing helpers can't save your plants. They need oxygen to breathe, just like your plant roots do. So this solution gives your plants a real fighting chance, managing root rot better. But it's not a magic wand that lets you ignore basic soil health. You still need to ensure soil drains well and isn't packed down like concrete. Think of these organisms as the best insurance policy you can buy. But you still need to maintain the house, if that makes sense. And here's something else really important. This is completely safe for your pets. Many have dogs that dig in the garden, or cats that nap in beds. Unlike chemical fungicides with scary warning labels about keeping pets away, these beneficial organisms are just part of the natural soil ecosystem. Your dog could literally eat a mouthful of this treated soil. And while I wouldn't recommend it for obvious reasons, it wouldn't harm them. That peace of mind is priceless, enjoying your garden as a family space. So now you're probably wondering, what exactly is this miracle worker? Let me introduce you to your new best friend in the garden, Trichoderma. That's the name of this beneficial fungus that acts as your soil's security system. If you've read Teeming with Microbes, the Bible for organic gardeners, you'll know Trichoderma is considered one of the most sustainable and effective tools we have for building healthy, disease-resistant soil. It's been studied extensively by universities and agricultural researchers, and the results are consistently impressive. Here's how I explain Trichoderma. Imagine tiny guard dogs living in your soil. You feed them rice bran, their favorite treat, and they patrol plant roots. When they detect a root rot pathogen trying to attack, they don't hesitate. They attack first, wrapping around the enemy, neutralizing it before it harms plants. Unlike chemical fungicides you reapply weekly, Trichoderma, once established, keeps reproducing and spreading on its own. You set it up once, and it keeps working season after season. Let me paint a picture of your gardening life after this switch. It's a warm Saturday afternoon in late spring. Your neighbor walks by and sees you sitting in your favorite lawn chair, iced tea in hand, just enjoying the view of your garden. Your tomatoes are lush and green. Your peppers are loaded with fruit, and everything looks healthy and vibrant. Your neighbor, battling root rot, stops and asks, "What's your secret? My plants keep dying, and I'm spending a fortune on fungicides." You smile and tell them about your tiny soil guardians. You explain how you spent maybe $10 on rice bran months ago, took 15 minutes to set up your Trichoderma culture. Since then, you haven't had to spray a single thing. Your hands don't ache from pumping spray bottles. You're not breathing chemical fumes. You're not worried about your grandkids playing in the garden, and your plants are healthier than they've ever been. That's the difference between working against nature and working with it. When you try to solve problems with chemicals, you're constantly fighting an uphill battle. You kill the bad guys, but also the good guys, fighting the same battle again. But when you build a healthy soil ecosystem with beneficial organisms like Trichoderma, you're creating a system that maintains itself. Nature does the heavy lifting for you. And let's talk about the money for a second. I know that matters, especially when you're on a fixed income like many of us are. A decent bottle of fungicide costs $15 to $25, and depending on plants, you might go through 2 or 3 bottles a season. That's $50 to $75, easy. A bag of rice bran. That'll last you multiple seasons, costs maybe $8 to $10. You can culture enough Trichoderma from one bag to treat your entire garden. The math isn't even close. You're saving money, saving your hands from pain, and getting better results. It's what I call a triple win. Now, I do want to mention one more thing about application. If plants show signs of root rot, you can still use this method, but you'll want to be a bit more aggressive. Instead of sprinkling, gently work it into the top inch or 2 of soil with your fingers or a hand fork. Careful not to damage roots, then water it in thoroughly. You're giving beneficial organisms direct access to the root zone. If planting new seedlings or transplants, this is the perfect time to add Trichoderma. Mix a tablespoon right into the planting hole before you set your plant in. You're giving your plants a protective shield right from day one. I want to address something, but I've always used chemicals. I don't trust natural stuff. I completely understand that hesitation. We're conditioned to think if it's not in a fancy bottle with a scientific-sounding name, it can't possibly work. But here's the thing. Trichoderma has been used in commercial agriculture for decades. Big farming operations use it because it works and because it saves them money. The reason you might not have heard about it is that there's not a lot of profit in telling home gardeners they can culture their own beneficial organisms for pennies. There's much more money in selling you bottles of chemicals every few weeks. But the science is solid, the results are proven, and thousands of gardeners, including myself, have seen the difference firsthand. So here's what I want you to do. If you're tired of the spray and pray approach to root rot, if your hands hurt from pumping that trigger, if you're worried about chemicals around your pets and grandkids, or if you just want a garden that takes care of itself, give Trichoderma a try. Start small. Pick your most problematic plant, the one that always seems to get root rot, and treat just that one. Watch what happens over the next few weeks. I think you're going to be amazed at the difference. And if you found this helpful, if you appreciate practical, no-nonsense gardening advice that respects your time, budget, and physical limitations, please hit that subscribe button for Senior Garden Guide. We're building a community of gardeners who believe gardening should be enjoyable, not exhausting, and that working smarter is always better than working harder. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Which plants in your garden have been the biggest root rot troublemakers? Is it tomatoes, peppers, squash, or something else entirely? Drop a comment below and let me know. Your experience might help someone else struggling with the same issue. And who knows, maybe your question will inspire the next video. Until next time, happy gardening, and remember, let nature do the heavy lifting. You've earned the right to sit back and enjoy the view.